Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Inga Hansen with Dayspa Magazine, and we're going to go ahead and get started. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. Today, we'll be discussing how spas can leverage payment options like CareCredit to increase sales volume, maximize group sales, and capture and convert leads. Our presenter is Francis X. Acunzo, CEO and founder of Acara Partners, a spa and medical spa consulting firm. Prior to founding Acara Partners, Francis owned and or operated more than 60 spas and medical spas. Welcome, Francis.
Thank you, Inga. It's a pleasure to be here today. Welcome, everybody, to this webinar, Promotional Financing Options, Taking Your Spa to the Next Level. This is brought to you by Acara Partners on the behalf of CareCredit. Let me just give you a quick little backgrounder on myself and my company. Back in the mid-90s, we owned the top day spas in Boston, and we made the decision that we would merge that entity with the top cosmetic laser company, which is Candela at the time. And through that merger, the medical spa movement in this country was initiated. We have personally owned, operated over 60, as Inga mentioned, medical spas or spas, including that first med spa here in this country. I don't do this by myself. I have a team of 20 people here in Connecticut that support myself, our clients, and the business development here at Acara. Throughout my career and as Acara Partners, we have raised over $85 million to finance spa, wellness, and medical spa projects. And we've executed over 20 successful acquisitions, expanded businesses, doubled sales for certain businesses. We have developed over 100 business plans. We have worked with over 200 aesthetic clients. We have grown revenue for new clients from 3 to 6 times their existing revenue. And back in the mid-2000s, so 2006, we actually took a chain of 37 medical spas out of bankruptcy and successfully put that back up on its feet and sold it off in 2006. Personally, 35 plus years of experience, and many people on our team here have anywhere from 8, 12, 30 plus years of experience. So let's get started. Let's first start by talking a little bit about CareCredit. I'm just going to read what we have up here. CareCredit is a health, wellness, and personal care credit card dedicated to helping people get the care they want and need. For more than 30 years, CareCredit has helped millions of people by offering special financing options with convenient monthly payments. CareCredit is accepted at more than 210,000 locations for a wide variety of health and wellness procedures, treatments, products, and services. CareCredit is a Synchrony solution. Synchrony is the largest issuer of private label credit cards in the United States based on purchase volume and receivables. You can visit CareCredit at carecredit.com to learn more. Let me just take a moment and read to you this legal disclaimer. This content is subject to change without notice and offered for informational use only. You are urged to consult with your individual business, financial, legal, tax, and or other advisors with respect to any information presented. CareCredit, Synchrony Financial, and any of its affiliates, collectively Synchrony, make no representations or warranties regarding this content and accept no liability for any loss or harm arising from the use of the information provided. All statements and opinions are the sole opinions of the author. Your receipt of this material constitutes your acceptance of these terms and conditions. So let's get started. How do you sell big, right? That's very important in today's competitive world. Well, the answer to that is use CareCredit. It's really a great way in which you can sell more and by leveraging CareCredit. All right, by adding the option that offers clients promotional financing. And of course, when you're talking about CareCredit, oftentimes you're talking about including no interest if paid in full within the promotional period. The benefits offering a payment option with a deferred interest promotional period. Let's talk about that. First off, no interest if paid in full. These are the benefits for the client, right? And the reason why a client would want to do this. No interest if paid in full within 6, 12, 18, or 24 months, promotional financing options. It's the option of the spa if they want to accept 6, 12, 18, or 24 months. It's a quick approval process. It's great. You can actually have the client receive approval right there and then while they're still having the consultation, discussing bringing in, say, a group for a future event. It's very budget friendly because it creates a monthly payment amount. You know how much you need to pay. If it's extended over 24 months, and say they're spending $2,400, as long as they pay it within the promotional period, it will be $100 per month. Also, there's an opportunity to get more of the treatments and services that the client wants. So you're able to expand the amount they will purchase by leveraging CareCredit. Now, what's in it for you? The practice manager, the spa manager, the spa owner, all right? Well, it can help you increase sales because people are more willing or interested in buying more by using CareCredit. Of course, if you increase sales, what does that do? Well, it grows profits. You improve the client experience. You allow them an opportunity to feel good about making a $5,000 purchase and paying it over time. And it definitely expands the client base because there are so many individuals carrying CareCredit credit cards in their pocket that already have CareCredit. So you're able to expand and offer it to your services to many more people. Today we're going to talk about group events and promotional financing, how we leverage payment options that offer promotional financing and the group events to help increase that sales volume. Let's see, we're probably going to talk about these 4 groups, not specifically, but here are 4 examples, right? The bridal showers, birthday celebrations, bachelorette or bachelor parties, group retreats. And when I say group retreats, I think, we're talking more about the corporate side of the world, that we have a group activity. So where does this all begin? It's a little bit different in the day spa world because in the day spa world, it's much more of a cash and carry type of sales process. Ring, 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 you pick up the phone, and the person on the other line says, hey, I want to book a facial. You identify a time and a day that works for them, and you take the appointment. There's no real consultation involved. But when you're talking about group events and group activities, and you're talking about a significant amount of money that has to be spent, well, that's where a consultation actually becomes part and a very important part of that process. So the first thing that you have to make sure your front desk is trained in and capable of doing is converting the lead into a consultation. We always say, capture the lead. So the objective is to train the team to capture all lead information from that first telephone conversation and increase the number of leads that convert into actual consultations. So let's talk about how and what you need to do with your front desk. First off, step 1, capture the lead. Here are the 5 pieces of information that you need. Now, number 4 and 5 are pretty easy, right? How did you hear about the spa and the type of group? Typically, that's going to come out right in the beginning of the conversation. Hi, I was online and I saw you offered group programs. Okay, now you know that they were online, so that's how they found out about you. Group programs, and I have a wedding coming up. Now you know it's a wedding group that's going to happen. The first 3 pieces of information, a little bit more difficult, but it's pretty easy. You want their name, their phone number, and email address. The most important thing is that email address and their name. Those are the 2 most important things because as long as you have their email address, you can continually speak to them. I should say communicate with them through email broadcasts. So name, email address, then phone number would be the order in which I'd want you to capture that information. Step number two, assessing their interest. So you want to recommend scheduling a consultation. Identify who the sales consultant or the manager is. I put up on the screen sales consultant or manager in a Dayspa situation. Most likely, those are one and the same, right? There's not a dedicated sales consultant. There's not enough group business for there to be. So whoever is managing, owning the spa really needs to be good at conducting group sales consultations. What you want for the front desk is to, first off, find a day that works for them. When would you like to come in? And then suggest 2 times. Never say, oh, she's wide open that day, come on down, because, it makes it sound like you're not that busy. And I always say, a crowd draws a crowd. So people want to go where it's crowded, where things are happening. So if they say the morning of the 15th, you say, all right, so we have a couple options, 9:30 or possibly 11:30. What works for you? Now, if they express hesitation or they're not willing to book that consultation, what is step 3? Well, it's transfer the call. You want to transfer the call to the sales consultant or manager. And the one very important thing when doing that, you should know if they're available or not. Don't put that lead into voicemail. There's a really good chance that when put to voicemail, the lead will just hang up and go on to the next spa, your competitor down the street. So if that person is not available, take a message in a written format and give that to the manager, the sales consultant, okay? Don't put it into the voicemail. All right, so if they would like to discuss now, I don't want to wait. I don't want you taking my message. I just have a few questions. Then what do you do? All right, answer basic questions. Explain the group size that you can accommodate. We're able to have anywhere from 12 to 16 people here at any given time. Typically, the best time of day is the afternoon. Avoid giving out pricing information over the phone. It's too much detail, but qualify if you have to. Give out ranges. So our facials, you mentioned that you're interested in facials while you're here. Our facials range from $80 to $145. It depends on what you're looking to accomplish. And then deflect back to that sales consultant or the manager. When you're here visiting with the manager during a consultation, you'll be able to clarify or identify exactly which facial you want for all of your guests on that day. So that's very important. And then after that, make sure you do a follow-up call, and that call is all about one thing: convert the call to a consultation. So let's say you give out the basic information. At this point, I'm assuming you captured the lead, so you have their name and phone number and email address. So the manager afterwards will follow up with an email and or both a phone call afterwards, say 2 to 3 days post-inquiry. And that goal of the call that the manager makes, well, that goal is to convert the lead to a consultation. There's only so much you can give over the phone or would want to tie up valuable front desk time, especially doing a consultation on the phone. You want to take it off the front desk and have somebody handle it, like the manager, within their office. Okay, let's talk about the consultation and the impact of offering promotional financial options. One of the big things is overcoming objections. I always point that out because a lot of this has to do with overcoming objections by using CareCredit. But let's start at the beginning. All right, the greeting. Make sure you create a welcoming environment. Now, this is your reception area. It should be warm and inviting. It should be free of any clutter. Make sure your front desk is acknowledging them immediately. If they're on the phone, look up. Just make eye contact. Hold up your finger and, one moment, please, motion that you can make. Smile warmly and sincerely. All right? It's important. Look at the person in the eye, make that eye contact, and give them a nice smile, like I'm glad you're here type of smile. And that's the reception greeting. Then there's the sales consultant greeting, which is the next. So the receptionist will greet them, show them to a chair, maybe have them fill out an intake form, get them a cup of tea or a glass of sparkling water with lemon, whatever it may be. And then out comes the manager, who's the sales consultant, and that's the secondary greeting. Hand is stretched forward. You're calling out the person's name. You're looking them straight in the eye. You're shaking their hand, first point of contact, and welcoming them to the consultation. From there, you direct them to a place within the spa that's quiet, preferably what I would consider a consultation room. But if you don't have one, then maybe somewhere off in a corner where there's a private table with a couple of chairs to begin to have the conversation or to begin the consultation. In the consultations, the first thing you want to do is provide a spa overview, right? You're going to tell them why they should want to be at your spa for their special event and for the group event. Build the credibility and trust by telling them how many years of experience your team has, how many years of experience you've been in business, how many times you've been written up in the local magazine for the best of type of award. Tell them about any unique selling position you may have. Possibly you have the only spa in town with an indoor swimming pool. Possibly you have the only spa in town with its own restaurant. Possibly you have the only spa in town with with a salon attached, all under one roof. That's what we call a unique selling position. You also want to present points of differentiation. Differentiation would be things that are making you special, but it's not easily overcome, right? It's not difficult to overcome. Sparkling water, lunch by the pool itself, some unique form of massage. Maybe you offer a unique form of Thai massage that only your spa in that city or town offers. Could be your product line that you import from the south of France, which is based on some type of seaweed, that you've flown your team, a couple of your team members there to be trained by the European specialists. These would be points of differentiation. Make sure you point it out. Make sure you really help build your credibility with this type of thing. Provide a staff overview. Let them know that you have the best team with many, many years of training that have performed over 1,000 facial experiences since they've been with you. You have the top hairdresser as your lead hairstylist. That's been named best of in the local magazine many times over. So this is your time to shine and get them to understand why there's no other place that they would want to go and take their group, why this is such a special place. Okay, now you're ready to go through a discovery process. You want to uncover what their wants and their needs are. So their wants are, I want a group. They know that. What are their needs for this group? Is it they need all facials? They need to be unwinding, sort of body massages along with body treatments. A need may be, we're going to the theater right afterwards. Of course, you're going to need blow dries, and you're going to need makeup before you leave. You don't want to have them all looking like they just got out of the massage going off to the theater. That's not going to work. So you really need to uncover the types of services they are seeking or they didn't even know they needed. Right? They didn't think about the fact that, we're not going to have time to go back to the hotel room before we go off to our dinner, then off to the theater. Also, discuss how retail can be part of their spa day. This is very important. Retail is such a strong component of a day spa, especially when it comes to profitability. In a day spa environment, it's easy to increase your bottom line by increasing your retail sales. And you can package in gift baskets of product, or oftentimes what we've seen done is the host or hostess packages in $150 worth of purchase to be made. So every guest gets up to $150 included in their package. And obviously they could pay more if they want to buy more products than that, but they get to select anything they want after their facial. so they can really take care of their personal skin needs. Make sure you recap all of this with the client. So important to identify that you're on the same page, you're thinking the same things, you're talking about the same things, and reinforce all of this with some benefits and features as part of the process. I would say the discovery process and benefits and features sort of blend together when you're talking about a group. You're going to be bringing up the benefits as you're discovering what they need and identifying the solutions. So you will be talking about the facial, which is a deep pore facial. You will be talking about the massage, which is going to be focused on relaxation. You will be talking about the herbal wrap that is special to you, and most people have never had one that you want to make sure that they partake in because they're there at your spa, and this is a signature treatment. And then, of course, not just the benefits, but why it's so special. Why have this? Because possibly it's a specialty product from another country or indigenous to the area you're in. How exciting to be using the mud from Arizona in the mud wrap while you're in Scottsdale, right? So that's all part. Steps 3 and 4 sort of blend together. Now it's time to talk plan and pricing, right? You want to complete a quote sheet. Have a sheet ready where you can fill out the form with all the things you're looking at as a per person price. Whenever doing a group like this, I would always recommend coming up with a per person price first. It avoids sticker shock. So, if the per person price is $600, but you have 10 people there, you're not slapping them with $6,000 right away. You're saying it's $600 per person, what everybody, and then you'd walk through what each person receives. Make sure that before you add it up to the total price, you talk about any savings or special offers. Some locations automatically give group discounts, so 5% or 10%. I wouldn't recommend going any higher than that. Because it is a group, they'll offer some level of discounting. Remember, in the spa industry, the day spa industry, margins can be pretty slim. So you don't want to heavily discount just because it's a group. You want to set, the group discount of 5%, let's say, could be more of a thank you than anything else for choosing your location. Once in a while, you may have a special offer going on. Make sure if they're coming in within the time frame of that special offer that you're incorporating that. The last thing you want is for somebody to find out, wait a minute, they're advertising that all products are 10% off. We just purchased $6,000 worth of stuff, and they didn't offer that to us. That's bad PR. You want to make sure that any special offers you have currently going on while that group is in-house are being offered into that group price. The other thing, too, that, of course, this is the time where CareCredit would come into play. Present all the payment options. Present that you do take credit cards or you can pay by check or cash, but you want to walk through that CareCredit opportunity, especially with a large group and a large sum of money. This could be anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 for the group, depending on the size. What CareCredit allows you to do is have your client be able to pay over time with promotional financing. It also, once they are approved for CareCredit, it's a revolving line of credit. They can use this over and over again in the future once it's paid off for beauty and spa treatments. It's a wonderful opportunity. It also gives them the opportunity to use the card for other healthcare, wellness, beauty needs for yourself. You could use it for your family if you're paying for a family member, and or, interestingly enough, CareCredit can be used for pet care too. Many veterinarians accept CareCredit. Now, when you're talking about plans and pricing, when you're discussing the price specifically, make sure you stay confident. You have to believe in your services, believe in your price, look the person straight in the eye, don't look down at your shoes, and tell them how much it will cost for their wonderful day they're going to have at your spa. Now, the next thing is test closing. Before I get into test closing, let me tell you, steps 1 through 5 pretty much happen in a linear format, right? From 1, I go to 2, I go to 3, I go to 4, and then 5. Steps 6 and 7, which are the test close and then overcoming objections, can happen throughout, right? You start test closing in the beginning if you feel that they're on board. You start overcoming objections that get raised during the overview of your spa. So we call them steps 6 and 7, but it's not in a linear format. These two steps happen throughout the process. What is a test close? Well, it's a time and a question typically that identifies readiness to close, readiness to make the purchase. What are examples? Well, we have timing. You can ask a question such as, this is great. How many weeks prior to the wedding are you planning or interested in coming here for your group event? If they're like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't even thought about that. Well, they're maybe not as ready as you'd hope. But if they're like, oh, we definitely want to be here. So in their mind, they're already placing themselves there at your spa. We want to be here at least 3 weeks prior to the wedding. So that's one test close that gives you a lot of information about their readiness to close. Appointment booking. Great. Why don't we get you penciled in the book today for the 5th of April so that you don't miss out on that date? Oh, no, we're not ready to actually book. You're one of 3 places I'm going to. Okay, now you know what you're up against. You know that they're shopping and they're looking around. Or if they say, yes, I definitely want to hold that date. I don't want to lose that date. So haven't made a final decision, but I don't want to lose that date. Well, they're close to a final decision. And that tells you quite a bit. And then, of course, just plain old interest level. What do you think? Does it seem like something your group would be interested in doing or would enjoy doing before you go on to your party that night? A simple yes or I'm not sure tells you quite a bit on that test close question. And then the next slide, we talk about objections, but the test close helps identify these objections. And common objections are spouse. Oh, I don't know if my husband's on board with me spending $9,000 here at your spa. Other objections oftentimes can be budget. How much do I have to spend or want to spend versus how much can I afford to spend in cost? Why don't we look at objections, overcoming objections, and really look at the two that are impacted by the dollars of the event, of the activity. First, you have price, and then you have cost, right? These are money objections. There's 2 types of money objections. Price is perception of value. So do I think this day of beauty with my bridal party is going to be worth $6,000? I don't think that's really worth it. That seems like too much. Right, that's a price objection. They need to understand the value and the excitement. Testimonials are really great for this. You should gather as many testimonials of your group as possible. So, a post-group questionnaire is sometimes really nice. Asking them to write testimonials online or giving you something in person, that's really valuable so you can show others how great it is to bring a group to your spa. The way you overcome this objection is going back to the reputation of your location, the success you've had with these groups, the years of experience that you've been providing group programs here at your day spa. Now, cost. This is the reality of available funds. I reach into my pocket and I come up empty, right? I thought it was going to cost $1,500 to have my group of 6 people here. You're telling me it's $4,500. I don't have that in my budget. I don't have that money in my pocket. How do you overcome that objection? Well, the best way to overcome the objection, and really the only way to overcome this objection, is the use of CareCredit. No interest if paid in full during the promotional period. Convenient monthly payments. So if I tell somebody $4,800 it's going to cost, but you can use CareCredit to finance it, and during the promotional period, if paid in full, all it will cost you is $400 a month for 24 months. It's a lot easier to pay $400 than it is to pay $4,800. So that's where using CareCredit really can expand how much you can do with groups because they're larger purchases. This isn't $110 plus tip facial, right? This is anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500 to $9,000 for a really great day of beauty. This is just a chart. It's helpful. CareCredit offers this, and you can see purchases of 200 or more. What does 6 months and what does 12 months look like? So along the left-hand side there, if you have a group of $7,000, about two-thirds down on the chart, it would cost $1,667 for 6 months, or it would cost $584 for 12 months. This chart is a real helpful tool when you are helping your client decide if they're going to participate in CareCredit, if they're going to apply for CareCredit and make the decision to finance their group Dayspa program. And finally, it's about the close. You have to ask for the close. You can't just let things stop and drop, I say. You've got to initiate that purchase. You have to ask, okay, you had mentioned Thursday. What I need today is a deposit of $2,000 on your, which is 1/3 of your group event, and we'll mark you in the book. The next step is to come back in for a second visit with me. I'll give you more detail. I'll give you some worksheets to fill out who wants what when, and we'll get your group all set up. So initiate the close. Ask for the sale. How would you like to pay? Or most likely, you apply for CareCredit. We can put that deposit on the CareCredit account, or you can even pay in full at this point in time. Facilitate the purchase, the appointments, and any other details that you need to facilitate at this point in time. Okay. Well, thank you, and that concludes our presentation today. I'd be more than happy to take some questions. Inga, I know, is going to come back on, and if anybody has put in the lower right-hand corner, there's a box for questions, and if anybody has filled out the questions, I'll be able to answer those now. And if I can't get to all the questions, I'm more than happy to answer your questions via email afterwards. Inga?
Great. Thank you so much, Francis. That was a great presentation, and we do have some questions. The first one is going back to when you were talking about capturing leads. Do you have any recommendations on how to ask for an email when it's an initial call?
Sure. It's fairly easy to initiate this. One thing when capturing lead information, it's important for you to give your name. When you give your name, it's easier to then ask for their name. And then with email, what I like to do is say, from time to time, a couple times a month at most, we send out email information. It's about promotions, special offers. It's about events that we have here, and they're also very educational. Could I have your email, please, to add you to this list? So you're asking for the email, and you're telling them specifically what you're doing with that email. So it's considered a verbal opt-in. On the form that you're taking this email information, I highly recommend that it's written underneath the email, did they provide a verbal opt-in? There's a checkbox for yes and a checkbox for no. If you ever were audited or looked at, there was ever any question, you can actually prove that the email addresses that you take are provided with permission, specifically in an opt-in format.
Great. And we had another question about which spa services can clients use CareCredit for, and can they use it for retail products also?
Certainly, yes. CareCredit can be used for any spa services that your location offers. In addition to the spa services, any related retail, so pretty much 100% of the retail that you offer within a spa is somehow related to spa services. So they're able to use their credit card, their CareCredit, on any of those services and or products as well.
And we had a question also about sort of how CareCredit might differ from other payment options, and are there any questions that a spa owner should ask when they're looking into these different options?
Well, CareCredit is, I think, the greatest benefit to a CareCredit program is that 0% interest promotional financing offer. As long as it's paid within the promotional period, there is no interest that is charged. It's very seldom. I mean, some credit cards will offer this type of thing, but you're not securing that while you're at a location necessarily. So you know that it's available. You identify, you secure your credit, your payment option while you're at the spa or at home in the privacy of your own home. But the other thing too is CareCredit then could be taken for other types of aesthetic type of locations for plastic surgery, for things that are typically cash based, but are medical. And it's where the pet care, veterinarian services. It's really nice to be able to use it for that when there's an unexpected surgery that your dog or cat would need. You can pay it over time, and it's that payment over time, whether it be 0% or with some interest charged. The payment over time is nice.
Great. And we did have a question about somebody was asking if they could share this with some of their teammates. So I do want to let everyone know that this webinar will be up on DayspaMagazine.com by tomorrow, and you can also view it on the Dayspa Magazine YouTube channel by the end of the day. And those are actually all the questions we have at this point, but I want to thank Francis so much for the great presentation, and also thank you to everyone who attended.
Great. Thank you, Inga. Have a great day, everyone.
You
Goodbye.
too.